If I streamed for 12 hours yesterday and I stream for 12 hours today, tomorrow when I start my stream and I do any sort of preamble or lead-in or whatever, what do I have to talk about? Literally, all I do is stream, eat, and sleep. Something that I've been doing since I transitioned my content away from Magic the Gathering is try to understand what my content is, what my content is, what content I like delivering, and what content my various audience likes engaging with. It's something that I've been continually evolving and doing, and it's testing. Literally, it is me doing a thing and seeing if I like it and if it works and if it is enjoyable to people watching. So, for example, that is the reason why this streaming news channel exists, because I wanted to test out talking about news. Because one of the things that I felt came about with what I was doing is that eventually I would run out of things to talk about. But if I start to cover things that are happening in the news, amazingly, things are happening all day, every day, and there is things to talk about. So the news idea was me testing a segment. Me going off about my day and whatever is testing a segment. This telling you about my life and the things that I'm getting up to is me testing out a segment. This is me seeing if including different content than just streaming related stuff is interesting or boring. If I can tell this stuff in an entertaining-ish sort of way, yes, I'm looking at ways to fill up content and do different things. There is another element that I'm thinking to this, which is something that I've learned, that I've been listening to from other people within the sort of stream educator territory, which is to humanize the person and to give people something to talk about. So for this, we are going to use Sellinome, and potentially Twitch Tracker. When I looked up Shroud, I looked at a random week and came up with something crazy. Like Shroud streamed 63 hours that week. And that wasn't counting, that was not counting anything else that he would have been doing, any social media he would have been doing, anything that he'd be doing with his management company, etc. If we look at XQC, ignoring today, in the last 30 days, let's see if we can actually find, in the last 30 days, XQC has streamed 304 hours. He has streamed more than 10 hours a day on average. In the last 90 days, he streamed 876 hours, which is again about 10 hours a day. If we take a look at Amaranth for her stats, because Amaranth is also someone who is utterly freaking ridiculous for this, in the last 90 days, Amaranth has streamed even more than XQC at almost 1,100 hours. Amaranth is streaming more than 12 hours a day. With some of the top level creators on this platform, there is a problem of time spent on platform. If you are streaming 10 to 12 hours a day, every single day of the week, I mean, first off, I swear to God, you're gonna burn out. But if you are streaming that much, what do you have to talk about? I mean, if all you are doing is playing video games, maybe it works. Maybe it works. One of the things that I like to talk about is sort of what is going on in my life, some different events, some things, and whatever. But if I were one of these crazy people I just highlighted, one of these utterly bonkers streamers who streams more than a full-time job, more than literally Amaranth is streaming almost 2 full-time jobs on top of running a successful Instagram account, a successful YouTube channel, and other things. And not to mention some of the collaborations that she does with other people. Similarly, XQC, similarly, at least Shroud back in like his heyday before he moved over. And if you were to look at other people, on the like top streamers list, you're going to see a similar pattern of behavior for some of them. If you are streaming so much, what do you have to actually talk about in your lives? If I streamed for 12 hours yesterday and I stream for 12 hours today, tomorrow when I start my stream and I do any sort of preamble or lead-in or whatever, what do I have to talk about? Literally, all I do is stream, eat, and sleep. There might be a little bit more, but seriously, if I stream for 12 hours a day and I sleep for 8 hours a day, that only leaves 4 hours for stuff. And that like is a 4-hour window in between. And I'm probably not just waking up and immediately streaming. So it's probably more like an hour or two before and an hour or two at the end. Probably food is somewhere in the midst of that, leaving not a whole heck of a lot of time. So the reason in part that I spent way too much time, let's be honest, talking about my day and what I got up to and the, in some ways, boring, mundane tasks and the random stuff was kind of to illustrate that, like, I'm a person who does things and there's activities and there is stuff that I do outside. Also, because I did want to at least slightly explore the idea that instead of me being like an entertainer, maybe there's an aspect of my stream that I feel like we already have that is more of like me hanging out with you guys, because I ask what you guys are doing in your lives, and here's me telling you guys kind of about what I'm doing with mine. Work-life balance is incredibly important as a Twitch streamer, at least in my opinion, because once you get to be a successful Twitch streamer, it is, in a sense, work. This is sort of what you do for income, regardless of if you make a ton of money or just enough to barely get by. Finding a balance is really important for your mental health and everything. Because maintaining relationships and everything, I think, gives you things to talk about on your stream, gives you content, gives you a way to make yourself a well-rounded individual, not someone who is just constantly streaming all the time. That's all you do, because otherwise you're going to be boring, right? Anyways, that's enough for this talk. My name is Aaron, aka Feldy. If you guys like this talk, if I do turn this into a talk, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and maybe check out my Twitch channel if you guys are feeling like watching some live stream content. I stream Sundays through to Wednesdays over on Twitch, where I talk about topics like these, as well as random other things that pop up, helping people with their Twitch streams and other sort of content. So give me a follow there. You'll find a link to that below, and a link to anything else that I do below too. All right, next video should be queuing up pretty quick, so stay tuned, and thanks for watching.